In this video, we're going to cover the Yoast SEO plugin's global settings for the titles and metas. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Logged into the dashboard area of the site, come on down here to the Yoast SEO section, and in the flyout, click on titles and metas. And here we go. We've got several tabs up here to cover, and we've got the Help Center section that is tab specific. So if you have questions and my video is not answering that, then by all means check out the Help Center here. Just click on that link. You've got a video specifically for that particular tab and additional items here, knowledge base. You can email their support and so on. But go ahead and close this up. We've got these title separators, and you have the ability to enable or disable the readability analysis and the keyword analysis. And whenever we get to the on-page modules, you'll be able to see more in detail what this stuff represents. But my suggestion, leave these enabled, but you do have the ability to disable them here if you want to. Now this title separator, by default, we've got the dash. But with the help of Yoast SEO, we have these other options that we can easily select. Let me give you an example of what that is. I've got a search engine result page here, or SERP, for the keyword phrase dog training. And if we scroll on down here to the organic results, this is that separator. It separates the page or post title from the site name. And this is called a pipe symbol. There's also, let me see, right here we go. We've got the dash here, the dash here, the dash here. Again, separating the page or post or site title from the site name. And by the way, while I'm here, each one of these results contain three basic items: the title, the URL, and the meta description. And that search phrase, in this example, dog training, will usually show up in one or more of these three elements: the site title, the site URL. In this case, it did not show up in the site URL, but it did show up in the site title, and in the meta description. Not necessarily will it be in the order in which it was typed in the search box, this case being dog training. For example, here we've got dog obedience training, but as you can see how it's darkened a little bit there, those two keywords showed up in the meta description, as well as one of them anyway showed up in the title, and both of them showed up in the URL. And this is one of the things that the Yoast SEO plugin is going to help us accomplish on each one of our posts or pages. And combined will also help our entire site rank higher when somebody searches in our niche. So anyway, that's the separator right there. I kind of got off on a tangent there, but now you know a little bit more about what these search results are made of. And that's going to help us whenever we get to other items here. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and choose the pipe symbol. I'm going to leave these two enabled by default. And any changes you make, you want to click on Save Changes. Now then, let's move on to the home page. And again, we've got the Help Center here with the tab-specific video and other items here in case you've got questions that I've not answered here. Let's go ahead and close that up. Now, your homepage title template and meta description template section may look different depending upon your settings under the reading section of your settings. Let me open this up and I'll show you, because I have mine set for on the default setting, which is the home page is my latest post. If, however, you have your front page or post page set as the static page, then you're going to be removing your ability to make a global template here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is so that I can explain more about this. You have these different variables or tags that by default are set to show the site name, the separator, and then the site description. And what I mean by this, site name and site description, is under your settings, general, we've got the site title and the tagline. That's the description, or the site desk, as they're saying here. Now, where can you get these in case you want to customize this and change this out? Come on back here to the Help Center tab. You've got basic variables and advanced variables. Under basic variables, you can choose whatever you want here if you so desire. The site name, that's the site name right there, and the site desk right here tells you what it is. So if you have the need to make a change here, then you can. My suggestion is that you leave the page alone. This should remain in each and every one of these as the default setting. Just leave it alone. That's just my suggestion. And if you do decide to customize the meta description template, you've got up to 160 characters or less. I'd suggest going less. And I would also suggest making this keyword rich. You can also make this adjustment on a page by page or post by post basis. And again, we'll cover that in one of the upcoming videos whenever we talk about the on-page modules. So my suggestion is, unless you know what you're doing, leave this alone. But if you do make any changes, click on Save Changes. And by the way, if you do customize this, make sure that you keep the format that they've got here. That's 2 percentage signs on either side of the tag, space, 2 percentage signs on either side of the tag, space, and so on. So make sure you got the space in there, and you've got the 2 percentage signs on either side of the tag. Now I should also mention, hopefully not to confuse you, but you can delete this and put in just text, and that too will show up on every single one of your page or post titles, unless of course you change it on that particular page or post. Again, this is just a global setting, but it can be edited on a page by page or post by post basis. Okay, moving on. Post types. Now, like with the home page, this may look different depending upon the plugins you have installed and activated, and possibly even the theme that you have. My suggestion here is to leave this alone, but if you want to learn more about customizing this or the meta description template, check out the Help Center, because again, you've got the tab-specific post type video tutorial right here. We'll close this up. As far as these other 3 buttons, I'd leave them set to Index Meta Robots, Show Yoast Meta Box, and Hide the Date Snippets. Now under the media, sometimes depending upon your site setup, maybe if it's a photography type site, then you might want to have the date snippet in there. In which case you may want to learn more about the ins and outs of making these different changes here on the Help Center tab. Okay, moving on. Taxonomies. Like the others, you can make changes to these templates, but I suggest in this case that you leave everything as is except for the tags. I believe by default this is set for index. I changed this to no index, and format, I changed that to no index as well. And any changes you make, click on the Save Changes. And again, if you want to learn more about this, check out the tab-specific Help Center video tutorial for taxonomies. Okay, moving on. Archives. This is important. I want you to keep in mind that WordPress auto-generates multiple copies of all of your content. You've got the canonical or the original, which is on the original URL that you create. And then kind of behind the scenes, WordPress auto-generates a date archive and an author archive. So it's important that if, for example, you are a single author site, in other words, you, like me, are the only ones that post content on your site, you don't have other people adding content to your site under their own name. If that's the case, then you want to disable and no index the author archives, because this is basically replicating your blog pages, because the author archives is exactly that. It's a replication, an exact duplicate of your blog pages. So by having this enabled and indexed, Google's going to see that twice, but they want to know who writes the content, and if you're a single author site, then they already know that you're the author of your content by way of your normal canonical post. But if you have multiple authors, then you want to leave this indexed and you want to leave this enabled so that Google knows that Jane is also an author and Jack is also an author, as well as you are the author. But in my case, sole author, disable, no index. Date archives, same, disable, no index. Special pages, I would just leave this as the default setting and then click on Save Changes. And you got it. If you want to learn more about the Archive tab, hit up the Help Center and check out the video tutorial or the knowledge base there. Okay, last but not least, we've got the Other tab where Yoast just didn't know where else to put these. And unless you have other reasons not to, I would just go ahead and no index the subpages of archives, leave the meta keywords disabled, and leave the force no ODP disabled as well. And if you do make changes, click on Save Changes. Okay, one last time. If you want to learn anything more about the Other tab, hit up the Help Center link and check out the tab-specific Titles and Meta Other tab video tutorial. Okay, I think you pretty much got the idea there now. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on the Yoast SEO titles and metas settings. Thanks for watching and have a great day.